You've all heard of the golden hour, but what about the blue hour? It's one of my favorite times of the day to make photos. And I'm going to reveal to you the special techniques and secrets that I use to get the very best photos from this special time of the day. Hi, my name is Sean Gallagher. I'm a professional photojournalist and filmmaker. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're a returning viewer and subscriber, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. For the past 20 years, I've been working for clients such as National Geographic, The Guardian, and the Pulitzer Center. Here on my channel, I want to share some tips and advice from my career to help you improve your photography. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing one of the times of the day that I think is probably the most overlooked, but it's actually one of the best times to make photos, the blue hour. I'm going to explain and kind of argue why this is one of the best times of the day to take photographs. And I'm going to share with you some of the professional tips and tricks that I know will help you when you're next out taking photos. Have you already had any experience taking photographs during the blue hour? If you have, let me know in the comments section below how you've got on. I read all the comments and I reply to as many as I can. Before we get started, if you're watching this and you're struggling with your own photography, then joining my photo course or my mentorship program is probably a good idea for you. On my beginner's photo course, you'll get 7 hours of video covering the most important topics of photography. You'll get class assignments to practice the concepts in each of the 10 course chapters, and then you can share them in our private class chat for feedback. If you're an intermediate or advanced photographer, then my mentorship program might be a better idea for you. You can get one-on-one calls with me, daily group chat, and access to our popular monthly community webinar. If you just want some quick photo tips, then download my ebook, The Camera Doesn't Matter. And make sure to watch the end of this video to learn how you can get my feedback on your photos via the ebook. Okay, let's get started with my top tips to help you get the most out of the blue hour. Now, you've probably heard of the golden hour, as it's one of the most popular times of day to take pictures, especially with photographers. I actually did a whole video about it, so if you haven't seen that yet, make sure to check it out. The blue hour, however, is like the baby brother of the golden hour. It's kind of, the golden hour gets all the attention, but the blue hour is, I think, equally as special, and it's got its own characteristics that make for great photos. The blue hour happens twice a day, just before sunrise and just after sunset. And at this time of day, the sun is below the horizon, but the sky is filled with that soft, indirect light. It's a brief window of only about 20 or to 40 minutes, where the world is kind of shifting from day to night, or night to day. But when you look out at the colours in the sky, they're often very cool, and they're mixed with the artificial lights from buildings and structures nearby. I personally love this time of day to take photos because the light is just so interesting. And in many of my other videos, I've told you about how important light is in photography. It's the foundation of every good photo, and you should be shooting in good light as much as possible if you want to increase your chances of taking better photos. So if you want to catch the blue hour, you've got to get up early before the sun rises, or alternatively, stay out later after the sun goes down. But what exactly should you be looking out for when you're taking pictures during the blue hour? That's what we're going to discuss next. One of the first things you'll notice when you start taking pictures during the blue hour are those colors in the sky. Now, as the name suggests, you're going to be seeing a lot of blues, but actually you're equally likely to be seeing purples and pinks and oranges and many other different colors, often in all these different intense shades. Now, we don't need to get into the physics of why this is all happening, but because the sun is below the horizon, light is being scattered in a way that produces these amazing colors. As photographers, we should be using colour to our advantage to try to create images that are as impactful as possible. Now, colour can often have an emotional layer to it as well. Blues sometimes elicit a cool feeling, whereas oranges elicit that warmth. So colours can really affect how your viewers feel when they look at your photos. So look specifically at the colour you're photographing when you're next out during the blue hour. How can you use that colour to communicate feeling and increase the impact of your photo? One of my absolute favourite techniques to make photos during the blue hour is by using silhouettes. If you watched my video about the golden hour, you'll have seen that you can use them during that time of the day too. But the advantage of using them during the blue hour is that they often feel a little bit stronger, and you can emphasize that contrast between the dark shadows and the lighter sky. Let's have a look at a few images to show you what I mean. You can see in this image that I took in Jakarta, Indonesia, that I was at a low angle photographing these men in the city's port area. By being low, I was able to frame the silhouettes against the lighter sky behind them. I used the same technique in Sri Lanka when I made this image of two park wardens climbing a small hill. I focused on them, exposed for the sky, and then left a large amount of negative space to the left. The trick to capturing silhouettes is to find a good subject, either static or moving, compose the frame so that they are in the interesting place, and then make sure you're exposing for the sky. This will throw the silhouettes into darkness, which will heighten the effect. As an environmental photojournalist, I love framing people in landscapes to provide context to these scenes, especially these wide open scenes. So you can try this too when you're next out taking pictures, and use silhouettes to heighten that effect and that contrast between the shadows and the lighter areas. I know that that will elevate your blue hour pictures. So the blue hour sits between day and night, which means that when you're taking photos during this time, you'll often have this opportunity to kind of mix the colors with the sky and the artificial lighting from buildings too. This is actually a great way to add more color, interesting lighting, and even moments into your blue hour photos. Some of the best urban landscape shots are actually taken at this time of day during the blue hour, because we don't really want that completely black night sky, because to be honest, it's not that interesting. If, however, you take your urban landscape photos in the blue hour, it makes them much more interesting, as there's this beautiful mix of the urban lighting and the natural lights in the sky. You might also be able to use a slightly slower shutter speed because there is less light, like in this photo I took in Vietnam. A slow shutter speed will blur the motion in the frame, for example of these passing cars. But look out for other moments too when you can mix artificial light and the light of the sky. It might be something even as simple as light from a flashlight or a cell phone screen. Mixing artificial light and natural light in the blue hour is a great way to make more interesting photos. It'll mainly be an option when you're in those urban areas, so just get creative with how you use the blue hour to your advantage to make better photos. Finally, I want to talk about one of my favorite tricks to making interesting photos during the blue hour, and that's by playing with your shutter speed to create this blurred effect in the images. I touched upon this in the photo that I showed you before of the car trails streaking past that church in Vietnam, but let's dive a little deeper. In this photo, you can see that the waves from the sea are blurred as they wash up on the beach. As there is less light in the scene, we're forced to use a slower shutter speed to help the camera get enough light coming onto the sensor to make the photo. We can use this to our creative advantage, especially if you have a tripod to put your camera on. I suggest selecting a shutter priority when you control the shutter speed and experiment putting it on a slower shutter speed and seeing what effects you can get with those moving objects, such as the water or passing car lights. If your shutter speed is slow enough, you might even be able to blur the clouds in the sky, like in this image I took of a shipwreck in the South Pacific. If you have a really steady hand, you might try hand holding and try to blur the action, like in this image. My focus was on the lighthouse in the background, and the shutter speed was just enough to get it sharp, while allowing the man to be blurred in the foreground, creating this interesting effect. So go for a low ISO, put it on shutter priority, and start to experiment. Now you may need to experiment a lot with shutter speed, but just remember to use a tripod. Play around with the shutter speed until you get an effect that you're happy with. Once you've started to make more photos, you can start to think about making a series of images to try to tell a story. Maybe you focus on a series of images just using silhouettes. What kind of feelings could that communicate to the viewer? Maybe you could create a series of images from the blue hour centered around just one color. How does that series of images make your viewer feel? Thinking like this will start to elevate your photography as you begin to think more like a photojournalist and a photographic storyteller. Most amateur photographers just fixate on making single images, but actually the real power of photography is in when you start to put images side by side to tell a story. If you've been making some photos, why not share them with me in our free chat groups on WhatsApp and WeChat? You can get access to them by simply downloading my ebook, The Camera Doesn't Matter. But if you've made it this far in the video, then it's obvious that you're serious about developing your photography. As I mentioned earlier in the video, if you want to learn the secrets to a great photo, or want to learn to really think like a photographic storyteller, then my photo course and my mentorship are definitely the right choice for you. Both of these will help transform your photography, whether you're a beginner looking to become a confident image maker, or you're an amateur already looking for a way to improve and find more direction and purpose with your photography. My programs can definitely help you. Whatever your next step is on your photography journey, I'm looking forward to seeing your photos and receiving your feedback on this video. If you have any questions about the Blue Hour, or you want to share your experiences, please drop them in a comment below, or share this video with a friend who you think might enjoy it too. Thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next video.